Now you may wonder why we're playing a song like this, a war song, and Mark Wheeler just wants to explain to you why we're playing this.
Well, the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is for God and country, get out there and vote.
Be a good soldier.
That's right. Be a good Republican, be a good Democrat, be a good independent, but you gotta get out there and vote. I mean, it's not a matter of life or death, although for some people, when it comes to bills that might or might not be passed over the next few years, depending upon who controls Congress, and the Senate, get out there and cast your vote. Don't, you have no right, as we have both said before, you have no right to get out to complain if you're not going to get out there and do your constitutional duty and get out there and vote.
Exactly, and you can tell we don't want to know what anybody's voting, but we'd like to get your opinions about what you think of the idea of voting. And if you want to tell us who you're voting for, that's fine, but we're not going to ask you to tell us. Our phone number is 646-595-3275.
Now, it may not, you may still be of the belief that your vote means nothing, but imagine one person, two people, three people, multiply that by, counties and districts within your state, and then multiply it by 50 for the states. Imagine all the votes that go uncast. Now remember, Nate Silver, as I said before, said only 14 or 15% of the people are going to vote. That leaves 85 to 86% of the American people who are voting age, will not be voting.
Mm-hmm. Now the other thing is, I started talking to you before about Texas. Texas passed a law, as I said before, that you need an ID, but they really went pretty far. They're saying about 400,000 to 500,000 people will not be able to register to vote to get the ID because they have to travel 4 or 5 hours to go get their ID.
And the thing is, even if they did, there's not enough time to process all of these IDs. You're talking about 2 weeks left?
Well, I'm sure they can do it, but that's not a big deal to process them because I'm sure it's right there. They do it, the computers and all that. But they're saying it's all the poor people who don't have cars, who don't have the money to travel the 400 or 500 miles that they have to go to a place that gives out the IDs. Now, right there, Texas is being prejudiced to the poor, and they're being prejudiced to, I guess, mostly the Hispanics and the
certainly
Mexicans
minorities. Goes without saying, and that's one of the reasons why, church groups, especially Southern Baptists, black Southern Baptists, are up in arms, really, because people used to go to church on Sunday and then board the buses, and the buses would take them down to register to vote, and they can't do that anymore. I don't know why.
I don't know. I didn't hear you can't. I didn't hear anything about that. But to register to vote, now, do you have to register every year?
No, I think once you register, I don't register every year,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I know that I get a reminder, that says voting will be at such and such a day, or this is your voting station. I
don't mind the idea if they go out and they do like most of the states are promising, or the federal government is promising, where they're going to allow people to go to people's homes and give them their ideas if they can't go out and do it. At least that sounds fair. But making people travel 4 hours or 5 hours to get an ID.
And like I said to you before, my biggest gripe is the fact that college-age students, when I know it was a big deal for me when I turned 18 to get out there and vote. I was so excited when I voted. I was born in 48. In 18, I was in 1966, 67. I turned 18 okay? And I got to vote for the first time right during the heat of all the Vietnam protests, okay? And it was a great time to be 18 and a great time to do my constitutional bit and register for the draft, which I wasn't thrilled about, but I had to do it. And, get out there and cast my vote when I turned 18. These people, the young people who generally are excited about voting, especially for the first time, are being denied that because their college identification is not going to be recognized in some states.
Yeah, that Texas is not recognizing them.
And Pennsylvania is not recognizing them as far as I know.
Again, like I said, if they make it a reasonable law, it's fine. I mean, a lot of people have licenses, and you need ID to do almost anything these days, except probably vote.
You know what the funny thing is? They have IDs for people, like non-driver's licenses, IDs, for people who don't have a driver's license but need a picture ID, and they take this picture and it says not a driver's license but used for identification purposes.
Right.
It's so easy to get them.
Right.
Those
are good IDs. You can use those to register. So it's not that hard, but for certain people it is who just can't get there. It's not hard for you and I. If they said, okay, you need a voter registration card with a photo ID, it'd be no big deal for me and you to do it. But for a lot of people, it could be a hardship. Now imagine the people in Texas who are 400 or 500 miles away, and the hours are probably Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. That means they have to take a full day off from work to go register to vote.
Yeah.
If they could actually get there.
No, the funniest thing, when my grandfather turned 90, okay, he got a birthday card from Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time. And it was, Reagan sent out birthday cards to all Americans who, turned 90 that year. And my grandfather was so funny, he looked at my father and he said, does he know I didn't vote for him?
Didn't matter, he was pretty much of a president that sort of everybody tended to like. I'm going to go ahead and put something else on now. It's a surprise for Mark because he's never heard it.
Well, before you do that, let me just say, I'm not sure how long this is going to be, but once again, our number here is 646 595-3275.
And you can play during the music. You can call us during your music.
And we'll be happy to cut off the music and listen to what you have to say.
Or you can hold on if you want, whatever. But we'll take calls during the music.
And mention that the chat room is now open as well.
Yep. All right. Now, Mark, this is just for you.
Okay.
People such